Middlesex Community College is a great place to begin your future. With more than 75 degree and certificate programs and hundreds of non-credit courses, Middlesex can help you earn a degree, start a bachelor's degree, or upgrade your skills. And their schedule fits your schedule. They offer classes during the day, evening, and weekends on campus and online. Middlesex Community College, a great place to begin your future. To learn more, visit middlesex.mass.edu.
Hi, welcome to another episode of MCC Connects. I'm Mary Jo Griffin. Well, we have a studio full of folks today from the Women's Leadership Network. And I'm going to start with Kathy McCarran, who's the chair of the English department, but is a co-advisor for the Women's Leadership Network. Then we have Deanna Santana, who is co-chair of the Women's Leadership Network this year. Maria Abar, who's the other chair?
Yes.
Okay. And then I have Maria McDuffie, who's another co-advisor of the Women's Leadership Network. Thank you all for being with me today. So let's start with, this is a wonderful, I've had the opportunity to participate in some of your events, but how did the Women's Leadership Network get started?
So our organization got started about 4 years ago when a group of students actually came to me saying that they wanted to start a group for women and specifically to cultivate leadership skills in women. And Tara Kirby and Bibiana Gomez and Fiona Jamal, these women have gone on from Middlesex to be incredible women. One is at Wellesley, some have gone on to have great jobs, and it's been a wonderful group to actually bring women along at Middlesex.
Had the college had any kind of women's group like this before?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it was the first time.
Isn't that interesting that it almost took so long?
Yeah,
you
and
know?
it was interesting for me because I don't have any brothers, and so I never experienced any kind of sexism. And the women that I met through Middlesex had grown up in environments where they felt like they didn't have equal opportunity. And so I learned a lot from them. And we watched TED Talks. We've been very involved in Lowell Women's Week. We've gone to women's conferences in Boston and in Lowell. We've hosted a couple of panels. The first year we had, it was called the Women of Middlesex, and we had a student, actually you were the moderator, a student, an alum, and a faculty member, and an administrator. The next year we explored women's issues throughout the world, and we had a person from Vietnam, Chile, a man from Uganda, and somebody from Cambodia. And then the last 2 years, which you'll hear more about, we've hosted our high tea.
What is the underlying, is there a mission or a goal or a theme statement to the Women's Leadership Network?
I think most of the women have joined together around women's empowerment. And so we've explored everything from getting ahead in your career, to following your passion, but also other issues that are relevant to women, such as we had a police officer from the Lowell Police Department talk about self-defense. We had somebody from the Center for Hope and Healing talking about rape crisis services, and so we've kind of approached leadership through society, through jobs. I mean, sort of all aspects of it.
Let's turn to you, Deanna. So you joined the Women's Leadership Network how many years ago?
Since I started at Middlesex in 2012, fall 2012.
Fall 2012. And what made you join this particular group, this club?
One professor, she told me that in order to get like extra credit, we had to commit ourselves to go into events or to join clubs there at Middlesex. So I was reading all the list of the clubs, and I also hear about this wonderful club, the Women's Leadership Network. So that I might get interested in that. So I joined them.
I'm not surprised.
So I joined them, and it was wonderful since then because we have so many events. We promote that women should have equality, that women should be aware of how powerful they can be. And it's been like great it's a great experience. It's a great like leadership networking that we have and that we do over there. So that's.
What made you want to be one of the co-chairs?
Well, when it was like kind of like scary at the time when they do the election, I was like, should I get there or not? But I see all the women say like, you should go, you should be part of be more involved. And I say, oh. So that like encouraged me. So I feel like so like welcoming. I see like like they're my family. So I say like I can do this.
So what do you do as the co-chair?
So we are the one who lead groups. We are leading events. We are leading also any workshop that we have. We are also encourage all the students to join us, and we promote as well our club into Facebook or Twitter or even Instagram. So we are like maybe like say like on the top of making sure like everybody get their work done and promote the events and promote as well the leadership networks.
How often do you meet?
We meet once a week, Friday. We meet at 1:30 every Friday when we don't have like any events or fundraiser or community service, but usually once a week.
And I had the opportunity to go to one of your larger events this year, which was the High Tea, and you did a wonderful job there. What was the feedback you got?
Oh, we had so many wonderful feedback. The students loved it. They kind of was like sad for them not to stay that long with the speaker. We had 7 speakers, 7 women leaders from the community of Lowell. So they kind of like feel sad that they didn't have the opportunity to meet further or to stay further with that person. But they make great connection. They make like great networking. They exchange cards, personal business card. So they really like it, and they are really like involved now in what they do in their community.
I noticed you allowed men to come in.
Yes, we have several men. I think we have like 65% is more women, but the rest is already men, and they really support us. They understand that we are not there to take their place. We are just there to make sure that we have the equal rights like they do. So they are really like supporting us, and they really join to the events, and they're really great.
That's wonderful. So Maria Abar, let's go a little bit more into the High Tea, how that event worked, and because it was your second year doing it, it must have been a success the first year.
Well, I wasn't there the first year because I joined on fall of 2014. So I started as the treasurer of the club, and then I moved up to be the co-chair, thanks to the encouragement and support of the members. So
how many members are there?
Oh, there are like around 10 to 12.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's one of the larger ones, I'm sure.
Yes. We're also hoping to get more members. But the High Tea event, we planned it, and it went great. Thanks to our advisors that we had. Maria, she helped a lot with. We went to the Dollar Tree and get all of the supplies that we had from there, and also we talked to many members of the community that helped us out.
So explain what the process was and how it worked that day.
So at first, we met at the Multicultural Center, and we started to get everything set, everything prepared, get the sandwich and the cookies and all that into the plates, and then we went to the cafeteria, which the event was held there.
It was beautiful too.
Yes, yeah, it was beautiful. We just set everything in there. I wasn't really there because I was in class, because Fridays are very busy for me. But yeah, it went great. When I actually walked in, I was like, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. Everything's so pink and beautiful.
What are some of the events that you've taken part in this year that have meant a lot to you?
So we did a superheroine presentation workshop, and I was the one that presented the workshop.
Superheroine instead of hero.
Yeah,
nice.
Yes. It was about how women have lost their power in the media, and how little girls don't have the encouragement they used to have. Like Wonder Woman, she used to be so relevant back in I don't know, 1940s, 60s, 70s, and now she's not as relevant as she used to be. And girls don't have maybe that power of the media that men or kids, boys have. So basically, it was mostly about that, and how Wonder Woman has lost her power. Even though for some girls she's still relevant, but some of them are not, and I think that we should definitely promote that, because I mean, girls they have the same capacities as boys, definitely. So they should be more encouraged by the media.
And Maria McDuffie, you are this year, this is your first year being a co-chair.
Yeah, well,
A co-advisor.
co-advisor. Yes, yes.
Why did you choose to join this
Well,
work?
I did my practicum when I was in grad school at Middlesex Community College as one of the African cultural co-advisors. So I kind of had a feel for what advisors do. And so when I came back, I kind of heard like it was going to start like a women's club, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So when I came back and there was one, I was like, yes, I would love to be on the co-advisor committee. So from the beginning, just I feel like I've been a cheerleader, making sure like, you know, you guys know next week we're going to do this, we're going to do that, let's plan this, let's make sure we're incorporating this. And, you know, using the compass, because that's a really great tool.
Right.
I think on the compass, we have 10 members who, like, during their whole busy schedule can come, like, religiously every Friday at 1:30. But on the compass, we actually have about 30 or 40 members.
I thought you had a lot.
Yeah. So it's actually, they keep up with it. I've had students come and email me and say, what did I miss for Women's Leadership Network? How can I help? And for high tea, there were a lot of students who, like, donated things or made things or just made that room look beautiful, or networked and said, I know this person who can come and speak with you. It's going to be great. So just cheerleading them on and making sure they're organized. That's been the best part of my.
So I also know that part of every club, they have to do community service and some fundraising. So what is some of the community service that you, and I'm sure that as the co-chairs, you've had to determine what you're going to be doing this year. So what did you decide to do for your community service this year?
This year we were planning to go to the Lowell Winterfest, but sadly the weather.
Oh gosh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
The weather was like no, you.
You're not gonna-
But last year we can talk about last year. We went in the community survey in the Mills growth, Mill City Growth.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. So we work with them. We harvest, and we make sure like every other like plants they stay like warm for the winter because the winter was coming. So we did great. We get the part where we enjoy the environment and we became aware of how to protect the environment, and the women can do that as well.
Right.
And I would like to say that these two co-chairs made a beautiful presentation about community service and leaders in community service and all the different opportunities that are available at Middlesex and in Lowell. And this week, actually, at the Bartlett School, they're throwing a science fair. And so we were thinking about having a few of our members join that as well.
And where did they do their presentation?
They did their presentation at the Multicultural Center during one of our club meetings, and it was just amazing. They just threw it together and like had, you know, statistics of how community service can boost your like one resume because people are looking for if you can actually communicate with people in the community and things like that. So they convinced probably everybody in that room that they should be doing some type of community service. So it was very impressive. Yeah.
So is there anything you hope to accomplish this year as the co-chairs?
Well, we hope to get more members, definitely. Well, we use Facebook and Twitter, so hopefully we get more members. And we have a lot of events that we are planning. Our event that's coming up, that I'm actually going to do the workshop, it's basically, it doesn't have a title yet, but it's about the labels that women get in society and how it's so different for men. They get these positive labels, however women don't, like bossy, for example, when a woman is a great leader. So we're going to talk more about that. So
That's
please,
terrific.
hopefully we get more people.
And you usually have that during your
Yes, 1:30 in the multicultural.
Exciting stuff. I was just saying exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Just like every Friday, 1:30.
And that's what's so nice about it. It's sort of organic because the members come up with the workshop ideas. And one time we had a dramatic reading of Phenomenal Woman, and then we had a discussion about the Maya Angelou poem. So it's really special because the students are the ones that come up, you know, with the focus of each week.
Well, like I said, I had the privilege of partaking in your high tea, and it was obvious how much work you put into it and how well it was received, and you got a lot of compliments from the community leaders who you had in that day. So it was hopefully you'll do that every year.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining me today, and good luck with the rest of the year as Women's Leadership Network. Kathy, thank you so much for being an advisor, and Maria, you as well.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned. For this month's Cameras on Campus, we wanted to know what students did during spring break. So let's find out.
Hi, my name is Manny. For spring vacation, I just hanged out with my friends and just did fun stuff with them. So it's a little stuff.
Hi, my name is Julian Menezes, and for spring break, I hung out with my girlfriend. She goes to University of New Hampshire, and she came down for the weekend, and we spent the week together. That's pretty much all I did.
My name is Abdul. Went to Maine with a couple of friends. Hung out. We had a great time. That's it.
Hi, my name is Casey Claremont. I'm from Methuen, Mass. And what I did on spring break was I went to Algonquin, Maine. I went to the Diversity Summit. Oops. I went to the Diversity Summit. It was awesome. I went with 28 other people, got to know them really well. It was a really great experience, and I would recommend it to anybody. Apply, go, because you'll enjoy it, and it will be a lasting memory. You'll never forget it, and it's worth your while. I know it's hard getting up early in the morning, but it's definitely worth it. So that's what I did for spring break.
My name is John Ray Balbuena. I'm from Lowell. And over the spring break, I went into the Middlesex Community College Diversity Summit. I had a lot of fun, and I met a lot of gifted, young, talented individuals and students.
Yeah. Alright, so hi, my name is Dave Moda. I'm from Lawrence, and what I did on this spring break is go to a diversity summit. In the diversity summit, we worked on some workshops such as identity, finding ourselves, like getting to know ourselves more, what we value in life, how do we pretty much really identify ourselves. We had a box, and on top of the boxes, it was all different flags from different, from everybody's ethnicity. And in the middle, we had the planet Earth, and then surrounding the box, we had different like values of culture, different value of cultures like music, animals, and so on. It was pretty much signifying that no matter how different we are, we all come from the same home.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Gomez. I'm from Lowell, and for spring break I went to Regis College and spent the whole thing there. Oh, and on Saturday I went to a baby shower, my friend's baby shower, for that, spring break thing. So yeah.
Hi, my name is Diego Leonardo Garcia. I live in Lowell. I'm a tutor, science tutor, and over the spring break I didn't do anything at all because I got a surgery on my knee, so I actually used that time to get done my surgery in order to not to lose classes. The most exciting thing that I did was watching a game.
Hi, my name is Jessica Hernandez. I live in Lowell, Massachusetts, and over spring break I studied for my midterm, as well as sleeping over a friend's house.
Welcome back to MCC Connects. I'm now joined by Margie Bleichman, who is the chair of the Computer Science Department at Middlesex Community College, and Michelle Stein, who is Assistant Professor of Engineering. Thank you both for joining me today. We're here to talk about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, and the fact that we have a wonderfully active STEM club on campus. I just want to start with you for a second, though, Michelle. You were an engineer by trade.
Yes.
How did you end up becoming a teacher?
I went to a Merrimack College retirement party for one of my professors, and I made a joke about when they were going to retire so I could have their job. And they said they were interviewing, and I started teaching as an adjunct there in 2006, and I loved it. And I got an opportunity at Middlesex to become a professor full-time, and I'm here and I love it.
It's wonderful. I know having students in front of you every day just gives you new life, and It's probably a little bit more exciting than some of the engineering fields that are out there. And if you need interpersonal activity. So, well, welcome to Middlesex Community College. The first time you and I have met.
Thank you.
So let's start with you founded the STEM club on campus. What made you find that?
Well, it was about 10 or more years ago, and I had just come here. I had also come from industry. I was a software engineer for over 20 years, and I came here, and I was teaching my computer science classes, and there were very few women in there. And I wanted to first start to try to get more women into computer technology courses. My first attempt was to do a Women in Technology club, and there were about 3 people that came. And so we decided to expand, and actually that's the same thing that happened with the Women in STEM luncheon. My first attempt was to offer a luncheon for women in technology, and it was really exciting, but there were about 13 people in the room.
Wow.
So of course it's grown, and we'll talk about that later.
Well, it's a national discussion now. So were you a little bit ahead of the curve? Middlesex is always a trailblazer.
I think everything was mulling in nationally. I was in contact with some people on the West Coast, and they're always ahead of the curve. And it was something called the Gender Chip Project, and they had a film that they were using to spur discussions, and I started doing a little bit of that here as well. But basically we wanted to have, as Michelle said before, when students are engaged, then they do better, and their retention is higher, and their success is greater. So then we started building on the club, and it was, really, it showed that people got more engaged. And I want to say that the club is everybody, but what we found early on was that very often there were a lot more women students that were participating in the club than men.
Oh, interesting.
So I think it was, in some years that's not true, but it was an opportunity to women to find leadership opportunities and to really talk about their experiences.
And how many years were you the advisor?
I've been the advisor, I think it was 2004 or 5, I'm not sure. Maria Arambel has been an advisor with, she's now an advisor with Michelle as well for many, many years. Sally Quast for a short time was a co-advisor as well. So a lot of people have been involved in this.
So what are some of the activities that the club does during the year?
The club is driven by the students, as all clubs ought to be. And it really varies. The group varies every year, and so I think Michelle, who's the co-advisor this year, can talk about what they did this year.
So Michelle, what made you get involved in the STEM club?
Well, Margie reached out to me and asked if I wanted to attend a club meeting, and I went, and I thought this was a great thing for the students, and asked if I'd be interested in being a co-advisor, and I took the opportunity, and it's fun. I enjoy it. It's a good time to be with the students and not play like the professor role, but more the advisor, and what can we do to make STEM real and fun, and see what we do every day.
The classroom.
Yeah.
So what are some of the projects you've taken on?
Well, last semester we had a chemical engineer come in, and we had a competition making the largest bubbles. So he talked about how that works, and we had these huge bubbles that
Are they bubbles like you buy at the store?
Yeah, but they were like this big. And we had a professor come in, and we did spitting out your DNA. So we were all using Gatorade and spitting it out and looking at that. We've had a competition building like the tallest foil tower with one roll of foil, and we had all these little rules, and everybody thought it was real easy, but then once we started doing it, it was more challenging. And we do service activities as well. So in the fall, we were there for, it was Math Moves You, and it was a Girl Scouts event, and we helped participate. And this year, or this semester, Merrimack College is holding the regional Stale Bridge competition, which 16 universities and colleges will be there competing. It's all student driven, and we'll be helping out with check-ins and timing the competition and things like that.
So you also help with the STEM luncheon, which you said you've started since day one. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the STEM luncheon is an opportunity for students to see women, they are out there in STEM roles, but most students don't think of women as being in these roles, women scientists, women engineers, women mathematicians. So it was our opportunity to put women in front of them, and they're real people, and you know, oh gee, I could be like that.
Right.
And every year it's a mix of who is on the panel. It's between about 5 and 8 people. Sometimes we have people who were MCC students who are now out in industry or out in PhD programs, and they talk a little bit about their work, but they also talk about their lives. They talk about their stories.
Yeah.
And to me, that's probably the most impactful thing, that they hear the story and they connect. And the luncheon is open to all students, all genders, so that we have about a 50-50 mix of genders, and it turns out that everybody gets something out of it, because everybody can bridge that gap and say, oh, you know, she said that she wasn't good at math, but now she's a physicist, you know, and so they really can relate. And one part of the luncheon is that they get to talk to them, and they get to ask them questions, you know.
So science, technology, engineering, we have an idea. What does a math major do when they leave?
Can you answer that?
Middlesex is about to have a math major, so we'll put that on hold.
That's terrific.
However, math is the building block of everything else.
Okay.
So math is required in all of the majors that we were talking about, whether it's any of the many engineering majors, computer science, biology, physics, chemistry, everybody majoring, going on to a 4-year program. That's the students that we're working with, have to work with college math and have to work with scientific math. So calculus and, you know.
Are the STEM careers and the STEM courses still as a good field to go into? Is it?
Oh, they're absolutely a good
still,
field.
Still the biggest ones, the biggest slope,
high demand.
It's very, very high demand. And I think that in the past, some students have thought, oh, there was the .com bubble or this or that. And that actually was more, the bubble existed, but there is such a lack of qualified people, you know, with degrees that have the qualifications that our companies and government positions are looking for. It's really amazing.
How does a person know if they should go into that field? Is there any kind of a test or anything?
I believe there is a test that they can take at admissions and advising, but I mean, if you usually, like I teach an intro to engineering course, so I have a lot of students come in trying to decide what kind of engineering they want to do, and we're talking about bringing in a STEM meta major IDS course, which is kind of like exploratory of engineering and math and science and technology, and all the different professors are going to be going in and teaching for a few lectures and giving a taste to the students.
That's a great idea.
So yeah, I mean, I wish I had that. I would love that. So you know, everyone says, you know, do you love engineering, math and science? I mean, if you just like to figure, you know,
that's what
problem
I was
out,
yes.
it's, you know,
and
that's potential.
That's for any kind of engineering, including software engineering, and there's about 10, I'll probably miss some if I say them all, but there's so many fields in engineering, including computer science, which is related to software engineering, that if you like to problem solve, if you're the person that everybody goes to solve whatever problem it is, then, you know, and you like to be very methodical about it, and you like the challenge of getting to the answer, and that makes a really good engineer, I'd say.
That's great to know. Well, Margie Bleichman and Michelle Stein, our time is up. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of MCC Connects. Join us each month so that you too can be connected to Middlesex Community College.